God, are both Lolitas going to rank higher than this? I think so.
Excuse me, I have to go and vomit.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the horrorofbabylonpodcast@gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to episode 2.
Oh, shit.
Of the Blade-a-Thon. I'm sorry, the Blade-a-Thon.
You gotta do your deep Wesley Snipes voice.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm sorry, I know you love these, but I just have to snipe at you here and there.
What is it? He'll kill me. Kill you. Fuck you. I'll kill you.
Yeah. You think I forgot about you? We are discussing Blade 2. I am Ryan, and with me, as always, is Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Did I forget to say it? Did I forget to say hi, Daniel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, I leaned in.
You guys are lucky I'm here tonight. I've had a week.
I appreciate it.
I've had a month.
I'm here too. Hi.
I have, and half.
We're good.
Thank you, Abby.
Breaker of vampires.
Breaker of mothers, chains of dragons.
I have a joke for you, but I have to wait till the Blade Trinity movie.
I can't wait.
I mean, it's not that creative.
It doesn't matter.
It's just the super obvious joke. And
Logan.
Metal Patron. And Ben, the 4th Patron of Hope. And Mia, the 5th, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain, yo.
Oh, and thank you to the sponsor of the Blade-a-Thon, for Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at shop.forhorsemancomics.com. And if you make it in, you can now again say hello to Ronald the Third Krampus of Christmas. He was gone for a while. We thought he was dead, but then Wesley Snipes found him in a blood coffin. And turns out he's alright. Just totally fine.
Can you guess what my Koontz says?
Yeah, it's pretty not good. Not a fan. Our history with Blade 2.
I was a really big fan of Blade, and then I found out there was a Blade 2, and I watched it, and I was like, why'd they bring Whiskers back?
So I also had a false memory about this movie.
Yeah.
My false memory was that this was the first one. I had seen this one years ago and didn't know it. And I thought I watched it as the original Blade movie, and I'm just like, oh, that's okay, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know what's going on.
It's kind of weird that they put a 2 after it since it's the first movie.
It was on TV. It wasn't even on TV. It was like on at like a friend's house, and so like the movie was playing, and I sat there and I'm just like, oh, Blade, that's cool. And I thought for years that was the first one until literally 2 days ago.
They should have started with this one.
I would agree with that.
I'd never seen this movie. But Daniel said, this one's the Del Toro one. And I was like, yes! Guillermo del Toro! There's going to be practical effects. There's going to be puppets. Yes, I'm so excited!
And we were wrong.
I was so wrong.
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Background, this movie was released March 22nd, 2002. Not a summer movie. I thought that probably they didn't have their choice. I would imagine if they would have had their choice, they would have released this as a summer movie. But when we get to financials, you'll see that didn't really matter. but I guess maybe they could have made more. It's still based on the Marvel character Blade. This one, like all three, was written by David S. Goyer and directed by my guy, Guillermo del Toro, who was hired after Stephen Norrington declined to direct the sequel. They offered him the job, and he said no.
He's like, I already worked with Snipes once. I ain't doing that twice.
They don't have the same director in any of these movies.
And there's only one constant.
Yeah. Chris Christopherson, too, but I'm sure he's a peach.
I pretend that he didn't come back.
You may be familiar with Guillermo del Toro from Hellboy, Hellboy 2, and Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, but we don't talk about that.
I love Pacific Rim.
I'm sure you do. And this movie had a budget.
I like Pacific Rim.
I'm sure you do. This movie had a budget of $54 million and made $155 million. Dang.
Good job, Snipes.
That's a good. I want to see, like, if the MCU did like a full, like, I mean, I know it's been like in talks, blah blah blah, forever, but when they eventually do, like, what's the over under? Like, is it going to hit $1 billion? Is it going to Mario movie it?
What, Blade?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would think that would very much. Their budgets for some of these Marvel movies are so exorbitant sometimes, though.
Yeah, but I mean, they generally, not all of them, obviously, but generally the box office does really well.
I think it would kind of be a bad time to make Blade. Well, it would either go really well for it or really bad, because I feel like Marvel movies are like in this weird kind of transitional phase where people aren't as hyped about them as they used to be.
In our generation.
Yeah.
Not in the Zoomers.
Yeah. I have, I don't know, I live with Zoomers and they're just disinterested.
I mean, that's not Emma and her friends.
I think that there's a diminishing return on the box office for Marvel movies right now, so I can't predict it. I think it's going to bounce back once they get their stride going, but it depends on if they released it in the next year or so. I'd say there's a chance it even bombs.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm talking like years down. Like, these movies are usually in development for like 3 years.
It's been in development for 3 years.
Yeah, I know, but they haven't had like a green light on it.
Yeah, it's so bad that they almost have lost their actor that they had signed for it.
Who was that again?
I don't remember. It wasn't Wesley Snipes, so I'm watching it.
You really wouldn't watch it?
It depends. If it's not rated R, I won't watch it.
It would be the first one that was rated R, yeah. Within that continuity of Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, is that they kept talking about is that they were aiming for a PG-13. I'm like, I don't care.
Okay. That's not something I care about, but I also don't
I think it's hard to do a good vampire movie at PG-13.
Hotel Transylvania made 3 pretty good ones.
If they put Mavis in the Blade movie.
Oh, if he kills Mavis.
No, they will team up.
I mean, yeah, he teamed up with a girl in this movie and she died too.
Yeah, but did he kill her?
No, her brother killed her.
Yeah, she got bit.
And she was also the daughter of like the oldest vampire until the next movie when there's an older vampire.
Let's just redo Hotel Transylvania, but the guy will make Wesley Snipes.
So, quick tangent regarding Hotel Transylvania.
Okay.
When the fourth one was...
There's a fourth
There
one?
is a fourth one. There are 4 of them.
Okay.
So, when the fourth one came out, I was convinced... I can't tell you why, but was convinced that at some point during the making of these films, one of them was going to have where they bring up the concept of Johnny not being a vampire, and they try to figure out a way to make him like eternal like them, but still be like a human.
I can't think about the fact that Johnny is going to die and Mavis and Drac and the rest of them are just going to have to keep going.
So
that's something I thought about. Like, that was something that actively bothered me.
It's very Tolkien.
Right. So, and when that didn't happen in the fourth one and they just made him a monster, I got physically angry. Like, I was sitting there watching it and being just like I'm watching this with my wife and my child of a daughter, and I'm sitting there being just like, you can't Look,
I think what you're saying makes sense and would have been better, but it's also just a little highbrow for.
Which is exactly what my 9-year-old at the time was just like, Dad, it's a kid's movie.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought he was going in a really different direction when he was like, when Johnny's not a vampire. I was like, are you asking them to put Johnny in vampire face? Was that the gag you were going
No,
for?
like I had a legit internal torture moment where I was just like, but he's gonna die at some point. They can't let him die. Like, and again, I'm going way too deep.
A candle that burns twice as
I
bright
went
lasts
way,
half as long.
but I had convinced myself at some point along the way in these movies that was something that was going to come up.
That's what makes love matter.
It really worked for me because in my head canon, Johnny is the same character in a different universe as what's his face from Big Hero 6, who wants to become a fire-breathing lizard.
How to Train Your Dragon?
No, Big Hero 6.
Okay.
He's in a big suit.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's super good.
So good.
It is.
It's so good.
I'm sorry.
When I go home, I'm going to watch the Mario movie. Maybe I'll just add that.
You have said that like 40 times.
It's a new gag.
I don't even want you to watch it because you're probably going to hate it.
Does Mario go bing bing woohoo?
No, but Jumpman makes a cameo and does.
Okay, then it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's great. And Jumpman is played by the guy who voices Mario in the games.
Then it's an easy 10.
Yeah.
He's gonna come back and just Ryan, this was the worst movie I've ever seen. Also, by the way, I hate candy corn now. It just throws it in your floor.
That's what does it, is not liking the Mario movie makes me hate candy corn.
Yeah. So, apparently we want to talk about anything and everything other than Blade 2, which
I mean, I want to talk about Blade 2.
I can really relate to personally. So, a sequel was planned for Blade in 1999. David S. Goyer wanted to use Morbius as the villain, but Marvel said no because they wanted to make their own Morbius franchise.
Boo, boo, Marvel.
Which they would go on to do 20 years later.
It's Morbin time.
And that's that. Another story in the classic, infallible 3-act structure. Good enough for Aristotle, good enough for The Simpsons.
Mr. Sislak, I have a feeling there's going to be one more act to this story.
Well, I'm not hanging around for that. 4 acts.
All right, going to structure and themes. Is punching and kicking a theme?
It is if you're Wesley Snipes.
All right. I found a quote on the wiki, or not a quote, but Del Toro said that he was tired of the romantic concepts of vampires being tortured Victorian heroes, and he wanted to make vampires scary again. And to me, like, did you watch the movie you made? Like, the girl and her dad, they are tortured Victorian vampires.
I think he was trying to focus on the not vampires.
But they're...
Maybe he went in thinking, this will be a movie that I make for originality, and then he realized, oh, wait, it's a sequel.
Because if you watch his vampire TV show, The Strain, that's who his vampires are just those things. Mm-hmm. He just uses them again.
Vampires with, xenomorph faces.
Yeah. And they don't have any junk. Or, you get bit by a vampire and you form, what's that thing that birds have, a cloaca?
The hole?
Yeah. That's what people form when they turn into vampires in The Strain.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know why. That always struck me as, a weird bit of, lore.
I like Del Toro as, a director, generally, most of the time. I think he's very creative with a lot of the, one thing I'll say about this movie that I think was actually well done was the cinematography. I think this movie pops a lot more than the other two, just because of I think one of the more subtle things that I noticed was especially the costume design. Everybody looked really good in this movie. I think even Blade had his it was a black coat, but it had an underlining in red, made everything look everything popped more.
There was a scene where he was chasing a vampire, and it showed him from underneath with his jacket fluttering. And I was like, I didn't realize that vampire he was chasing was wearing a cape. I was like, oh, that's Blade.
Yeah, I think the visuals in this movie pop a little bit more than the other ones.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel that is kind of a Del Toro thing.
Well, I think with Del Toro, there's a focus on the production rather than on story.
I agree with that.
I have a theory. I think Wesley Snipes came up to him and said, I don't act with puppets.
Well, I was really upset at first. And then I looked at his filmography, and, like, Hellboy 2 is, like, really the first time where this is years before that.
This ain't no Muppet Babies, this is a vampire movie.
So it kind of didn't make sense for me to get upset about there not being puppets when it was before he was doing that.
I still think it's funny.
This movie also suffers from having way too many characters that you just don't give a fuck about.
Absolutely.
I am so excited for the homework question for this one.
Oh shit, I forgot to do my homework.
I got enough for everybody. I got so many Blade-o-Cs.
Okay. Alright. I didn't really write much for structure and themes. Does anybody have anything else?
I mean, you got stuff like family secrets and, like, genetic engineering. Secrets. Del Toro does secret societies a lot. Like, I mean, that existed in the first movie, but he, like, really emphasizes, like, that secret societies are these ancient, old-looking dudes that, like, sitting behind closed doors.
Well, I should mention
rings.
that. So he didn't write the script. David S. Goyer did, but he also wasn't the original. I think they had started production without him, and then he kind of came in and just had the script and the cast and just worked. So, like, story-wise, he didn't really have anything to do with.
I'm so used to directors getting input on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he, like, had input on the set, but he didn't have any, like, he was not involved with pre-production.
Okay. It's something that shows up in a bunch of his movies, so that's a fun coincidence.
It's just so linear. There's nothing original is happening here.
No.
I mean,
no, there's not.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Speaking of not original, let's jump to characters. Blade! Wesley Snipes.
he had a cool looking coat.
He had a cool looking coat in this one.
Yeah. And again, Snipes is showing in this movie, like, as far as physical chops. I mean, this one has the best fight scene. It's not close, I would say.
Which one is
the one at the end where he's, like, beating up all the guys against Ron Perlman, like, where all of them are basically jumping him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's like, that scene, like, as a person who enjoys fight sequences or whatever like that is very well put together by Del Toro as far as the action sequence.
I don't think I could pick a favorite fight scene, and if I did, it would probably be for a stupid reason.
Yeah. But he looked, like, again, like in the first one, I mean, in that scene, he looked like he just looked real sharp, he looked real good, and all his movements were very fluid, and camera work from Del Toro looked just very good.
Wesley Snipes is a very talented physical actor.
Yes.
He knows how to throw a punch.
Yes. Also, the one thing that gave me just a 1 point for Wesley Snipes' Blade in this movie is that first scene where he's on the bike and he rolls over to his car and he just looks at it and gives it a smooch and then goes back to doing what he's doing.
I
thought it was funny.
I hate the whole. I'm not into car culture.
Not either.
I don't get it when people like fawn over their cars. I don't get it.
I think it was funny. Like, to me, it's funny because, like, it's the one part of the movie where they try to, like, give him character, and it's just so. I mean, it doesn't work. And I laughed at it. Like,
yeah,
it
no, I agree,
like,
it doesn't work.
I was just like, I mean, you tried, I guess. Like, because the rest of the movie's just somber Blade. I'm just like, okay.
But I try not to, like, get too overcritical about the whole car thing. Like, I'm not a car guy, but obviously that's a real thing. People love cars. People love car culture, but it's never made sense to me. Like, people ask me, Ryan, what's your dream car? Like, I drive my dream car. I have a reliable Honda that isn't going to break down on me.
A Lamborghini.
You used to tell me it was a Dodge Neon.
Yeah, well, I was dumb in high school.
Okay. Lamborghini.
I just like the way it sounds. I don't know anything about them other than that they're, like, super expensive.
I also had another false memory that happened this week that I misunderstood what suicide doors were. I learned that by...
Isn't that when there's no doors?
Suicide door is apparently, like, in the front and the back. So you'll have, like, on the driver's side, you'll have the door and it opens, like it normally would. Mm-hmm. In the back, like the back seats, mm-hmm. the door opens outward and away from you.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what suicide doors were.
Those are suicide.
Why is it called suicide doors?
Because if you open both of them, you can just jump out.
Well, that's true of any door.
I understand, yeah. I had that argument too, but apparently that's why they call them that.
I just want one of those doors that goes up instead of out.
Yeah.
Is there any door? Is there any car? Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. My dream car is the
cat bus.
The Mandalorian.
No, the
we had wildly
a DeLorean.
Yeah,
a DeLorean.
He just put man in front of it. It's a Mandalorian, not a DeLorean.
I'm surprised you didn't just say that right off the bat.
I mean, yeah, I would. I've actually looked. They're super expensive. Like buying a used one, they're super expensive, and it just would be stupid. It would just be to have one.
Mine would be the dumb car from Initial D, like the Trano or whatever it is he drives in the early stuff, and like I love like. I don't know, I read like a little string of things where they're just like, if you want to do downhill racing, don't buy this car.
Initial D is a work of fiction.
Yeah, he's like, it's a comic.
Well, it's just because you're not Tak Fujiwara, dude.
Also, think you haven't tuned it right, like his dad did.
You haven't made.
No, this is actually an abysmal car for downhill racing.
You have not made tofu deliveries 3 times a day, every day for years.
Get fucked, idiot.
I don't get these references.
I don't think you would enjoy Initial D. I'm surprised I read it as long as I did.
There are marginal points where it has like high highs but low lows.
Yeah. Wesley Snipes kills vampires.
We like it. It's fun.
Okay. I was so pissed when they brought Whiskers back.
They took away what might have been the best part in the first movie, was where he's on that chair and he shoots himself. Like not to say that that's like something I usually look forward to in a movie, but that gave it like to even for like a minimal character. I was like that. I like he went out like kind of an honorable vampire hunter kind of thing. Like I thought that was actually pretty good for his character in the first one, and then they just did that. It's like now he's in a vat.
I have something for this. So one of my coworkers, I got her to watch the entirety of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Good job.
She's a big fan. She's keeps sending me messages going, Daniel, tell me not to buy the manga. And I'm like, I can't tell you not to do that.
Buy it, it's real good.
But I did tell her, I was talking to her, I was like, the Dark Tournament, best tournament in all of anime history.
Yep.
Except the ending.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what happens at the end? I'm like, and she's like, they brought Genkai fucking back. And she's like, that takes away all the dramatic like tension over her death. I was like, yeah, no, I told you. It's the one thing I changed.
But they got one wish.
Yeah.
They got one wish.
If Blade had a wish, he'd probably wish all the vampires would die.
Yeah, he'd be...
and then he'd die himself and the movie would be over.
That's Blade Trinity. Yeah. Okay.
That's my same feelings here. Is a lot. It's even worse in Blade Trinity because then they try to undo it for dramatic effect. But I don't know. It's the same reason why I'm like I have to shut my brain off these days if I even want to remotely enjoy Dragon Ball Z or a lot of comic books.
I can't
because I'm like if somebody dies, they're just gonna come back. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I find it a lot more inexcusable in like films than I do in like long-running comic books that are around for like 80 years.
If you're reading a Marvel comic, granted this is a Marvel movie, but if you're a Marvel or DC comic, you expect it. It's just part of how it is.
Just imagine Iron Man dies at the end of Endgame, and then in Quantumania or whatever the very next movie was, they brought him back as Spider-Man. It
would be dumb.
It would be super stupid, and it's stupid here. I didn't like it.
Yeah. But randomly, what's his face and Chris Evans have both stuck to they haven't been in another movie, so
yeah.
I actually also haven't seen a movie either of them has done since, so
I feel like the internet would have let me know like if they were in something.
No, I've seen. I'm not caught up on the shows, and I probably never will be. But I have seen all the movies. They are not in them. Mm-hmm. There's a hell of a cameo in the Marvels, though. It was the first time I jumped up out of my seat and cheered in a long time. Oh, Kelsey.
Poor Ron Perlman.
He has to play the same character in every movie he ever does.
Poor Ron Perlman. I'm convinced that Guillermo del Toro went, man, I'm real sorry about that. How about this Hellboy movie? I can give you that.
Sorry about what?
This movie.
Just that he had to be in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put you in this real bad Blade movie, but don't worry. I got this Hellboy thing. It's going to be much better.
It wasn't. But Hellboy 2 was okay.
I haven't seen either of them since high school.
The first one had the problem, I'll be quick. The first one had the problem of, like, it starts out real strong, and then, like, I guess, like, halfway through production, they ran out of money. And it's noticeable.
It does really show.
It's noticeable. And the second one does not have that problem.
I remember tolerating the first one and loving the second one because of the puppets.
The second one is exceptionally, like, as far as, like, a standard for, like, comic book movies, it's up there as one of my favorites. I think it's very good.
Daniel doesn't like it because Hellboy and Abe Sapien get drunk.
Is that something I've said?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's something.
I don't know if you meant it. Like you.
It sounds like a bit that I've forgotten about to keep up with. I have to delete certain bits after I decide to do new ones.
You're like a hard drive.
Okay. Ryan's not falling for this one anymore, so I gotta.
Like you gotta hack and rehack.
Yeah, it's the same character he plays in Alien Resurrection and the same character he plays in that Nicolas Cage movie where they're knights.
Which is unfortunate because Ron Perlman is actually a legitimately good actor. I think he can do very well.
There's a Nicolas Cage movie where he's a knight.
They're knights and they fight witches.
Season of the Witch?
Yeah.
I have not seen that.
You haven't seen it? I saw that in theaters. I thought I saw it with you.
No. I want to see the Nick Cage Knight movie.
Hold on, we're gonna watch the trailer.
I want to see the Nick Cage Knight movie.
It's in the Dark Ages, and it's just like a super pulpy vampires and witches.
Please hold while the guys look this up on YouTube.
I want like 10 beers and to watch this movie.
Say, this totally looks like a drunk Hef movie.
Yeah, we could do that. Maybe we'll do like watch Luann Noodles and Season of the Witch with beers and pizza.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Luann Noodles.
Can we just do that as a podcast now?
Yeah.
We'll just do movies we like.
Yeah. I don't remember it being a good movie.
Yeah, but it looks
it is. I remember it being fun.
It looks like a Nick Cage movie.
Leonor Varela, who plays Nissa Damaskinos.
She wasn't an elf, and I was upset about it.
Is she an elf and something else?
Yeah, she's a planeswalker elf.
Oh, Nissa.
Yeah.
Nissa. Yeah. So she's the daughter of the Ancient One, and she's not bad, and her and Blade kind of have a thing, but not really. And
the whole movie has the same problem of it has a lot of problems, but like one of the big ones is I just didn't give a shit about any of the.
I don't care about any of the characters.
There was no depth. Then she's no different.
This presents another one of like young Daniel's problems that I don't have these days, but like as a kid, these things really bothered me. Is when I'm watching the sequel, I went, "Where's his black girlfriend?"
I did have that question. I forgot to make my joke. Shit! That was so funny. I was sitting on that joke for 3 days. I'll say it now. This is my... If you want to help, make me a better movie. Because he says, make me a better
no, it's good.
Okay.
But those are... And it doesn't bother me now when I watch new things. It's like they just don't care about the continuity. But when I'm sitting here and when I was watching it as a kid, I'm like, this is a different girl character.
Yeah.
And it made me not like her for years, and that's still like...
I mean, it bothered me a little bit, but I just understand that sometimes they don't...
Yeah, people don't come back. But I'm just saying that even though, like, I logically understand there is no reason for me to, like, pine after a woman character I can't even remember the name of. Yeah.
Actually, I think is it Karen?
It was Karen.
It was Karen, yeah.
It, like, interferes with me trying to, like, enjoy a different character.
Okay, let's talk about a different character. Something that's relevant to horror culture. Daryl Dixon.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I was watching this movie and went, "There's no way this is Norman Reedus."
Yeah, I saw his name on the credits. I was like, "Nuh-uh. He just popped into existence with Walking Dead." And
Because I was watching this, I was like, I think this is gonna be a Dane Cook memory later, where I am convinced that I'm convinced he was in it and he wasn't.
You know, it's babyface Daryl, and he talks the same way he does in Walking Dead.
I wish they would have killed him in Walking Dead.
I don't know. Like, I stopped watching. Did they not?
He has a spin-off show now.
Okay. Well, he could still die.
He's a popular character. That doesn't surprise me.
At the height, like, when I was still watching it, they printed T-shirts. If Daryl dies, we riot.
Yeah, if Daryl dies, we... Yeah, I do remember that.
I always got upset because he's a TV show original character. He's not in the comic books. So I was always like, I mean, I liked him. He's a cool character, but I was just like, he's not in the comic books. I don't care if he dies.
This movie, like, he was the I'm not gonna say it was a good twist, but like I genuinely was like,
I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I was like, huh. I mean, yeah, there it is. Like, oh, you dirty dog, you have it on your lip. I was like, good on you.
From this point on, Blade has to like look in people's mouths with a little flashlight.
I think that betrayal would have stung a little bit more if Blade didn't have Whistler to fall back on.
I agree with that.
Yeah. No, I everything about him coming back rubs me the wrong way.
I guess you get to see Norman Reedus and Chris Christopherson argue with each other, which was...
They bounce off each other better than a lot of people in this movie.
Like, better than Wesley Snipes and Chris Christopherson. They have no chemistry, like, no rapport. Partly because Blade doesn't talk. But, like, they're billed as, like, the foster son, foster father, like, relationship of these three movies. But they, like, never talk to each other.
You know, I tried to find my old trench coat to wear to this.
Okay, so...
I think I threw that away with my fedoras.
And now the two villains, I don't remember which one is which.
I called one of them Old Vampire and one of them Tongue Vampire.
Okay, Old Vampire and Tongue Vampire.
The Old Vampire is the one with the very long name.
Okay, so that's played by Thomas Kretschmann, Eli Damascunos, and Tongue Vampire is played by Luke Goss. Scud. What? Skid. Okay, maybe it was worth Chris Christopherson coming back because he calls him Skid. It's Scud. You know, like stud? Whatever, Skid. You know, Skid, like in your underwear?
It's another really, really fucking stupid thing that used to bother me is like Wee Baby Daniel. I say Wee Baby Daniel. I was probably like 11 when I saw this. I guess that's Wee Baby Daniel compared to 36. I'm sitting here watching it going, how's this even a challenge? He literally fought a god in the last movie.
That thought occurred to me too.
It didn't bother me this time around. I'm like, well, it's a different kind of threat. It's a vampire that infects other... But then I'm sitting there going, it eats other vampires, and then those vampires die because they over-metabolize. I'm going, Blade, why don't you just let them eat the other vampires? Your job would be done.
Yeah. Yeah. Logic is not this franchise's strong point.
We just need him to fight him. That's all we need. We just need to get him to where he fights him.
I mean, they make a point of saying in this movie that they don't have to use flashlights because they can see in the dark. And then the first scene in Blade Trinity, the vampires are using flashlights and torches. Flashlights and glow rods.
It's because that was super dark. That was Dracula.
That's Dracula's tomb. You don't get darker than that.
That was Dracula dark.
Okay. These villains were villains. I think one of the biggest weaknesses of these movies are, like I said, like all the characters are kind of bad. I don't care about them, but like I think the best Marvel movies are the ones that have like the great villains. I think the villains are as important as the heroes, sometimes more important, like Magneto, but...
Oh, Ian McKellen.
I think a part of the problem, especially for you, is this is filmed more as an action movie where they fill it with jobbers, so they have people to kill. Yeah, and that's like, it's just not my type of genre. Like, even as a kid, I didn't like Predator. I didn't like Terminator. Like, and that's fine. Like, these are
it's just a genre that I've never been able to get into. But
this is a bigger problem for me, turning vampires into jobbers as the series goes. In the first movie, you have Blade who comes in and he kills a shit ton of vampires. And I'm like, I'm a little bit okay with it because he has all the vampire strengths, none of the weaknesses, and he's...
I have all the strengths and none of the weaknesses except a thirst for blood.
except for the really big one.
That's the biggest one.
So, like, he can contend with vampires and he's decked out in gear specifically made to kill them.
But I can have garlic on my pizza.
But as the series goes, it's the biggest problem in Blade Trinity. But I'm sitting here going, these vampires seem so fucking easy to kill.
I'm now focused on the fact that Blade's power move is now being able to open the garlic sauce they give you with Papa John's pizzas.
I would, you know what? I sometimes make fun of like the Marvel like gags, but if they do when they do the Marvel Blade movie, I want him to be sitting across from a vampire and he's just adding garlic to his shit, looking smug at them. I
can't remember at one point, but at one point, I think it's in Trinity because they talk about Ryan Reynolds says something about eating garlic. But I was just like, why don't they just like eat garlic on everything? So it's just like constantly on their breath. Like, and so it's like flowing in you, like,
and you get the garlic sweats.
Yeah,
so.
I've had garlic sweats.
So if they try to tackle you, you know,
like garlic sweats. But no, we can do like. We can put silver in the air through the air conditioner so that they breathe in the silver and it does nothing. It makes your throat scratchy.
Eat nothing but garlic and then just do like a shit ton of cardio before you go raid the vampire fortress. You're all sweaty.
Yeah.
Your weapon is literally your fucking wet white beater is just going through and smacking people.
We should write a story about a vampire hunter that just smells really bad because he always has garlic sweats.
Stank. They call me Stank.
Is it because you stink? It's fucking stupid. Well, they call Blade.
They call Whiskers because he has a beard.
I have all the strengths and none of the weaknesses.
I'll kill you all. I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all. I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
Scary shit. Is this movie scary?
Yeah, it's horrifying.
It's scary bad.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah. I think this is the best of the three, to be fair. Like if you're as a baseline, I think this is the best of the three.
I think this one looks the best.
It looks the best. Production-wise, it's
I think I enjoy Blade one the most.
I think
minus the Blood God graphics.
I think I'm gonna wait until we get to Blade Trinity so I can make Daniel the maddest.
Okay.
No, I think
if you like Blade Trinity the best because it's the funniest, then I can't say anything.
Blade Trinity cheats by having Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds.
I don't like Ryan Reynolds in that movie.
I don't like him in the movie either because I keep imagining him as fucking Dane Cook.
I like Blade Trinity the best because it has a female archer, and that's my whole reason.
She's my least favorite character in the movie.
I don't think she's a good character. I just think she's a female archer.
Okay,
and I have a weakness.
You gotta have the female archer.
I like my Kate Bishops. I like my Tariels. Like a cute girl with a bow. Like I'm all about it.
I don't remember, but the Hunger Games girl.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Kiss me, fat boy.
Still no skronking.
Still no skronking.
The closest we got was a quote cunt hair away from. We got through dialogue.
How many sexy vampire ladies does this guy have to see before he skronks?
You know what? I bet you he was thinking like when he saw her dying, he was like, "Fuck! I put in all this legwork."
Is he gay?
I even compromised.
Blade? Maybe asexual. Cause
I bet he is.
Because he just seems.
He just said he has none of the weaknesses. There it is.
You fucking spit.
Sorry.
Okay, that might be the funniest thing you said.
I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction.
Dude, it was funny. All the other vampires are walking around trying to be like sexy and seductive, and Blade's just like, I have my gray and black and white flag.
I'm a tree. And this oak does not buckle.
He's the Goblin Slayer. He doesn't care about anything but his one thing.
I'm sorry I spit on you.
No, it's fine. It's fucking funny. That was great.
Oh my god, are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Kings and Koontz.
You put yourself first again.
I think I did for all three. Because I just made these and then copied and pasted. My King and my Koontz is the same. And it's the 30-minute, or probably more like 60-minute, like inner dialogue I had with myself trying to go to sleep after I watched this movie about what was now my least favorite Del Toro movie, this or Pacific Rim. Still undecided.
That's your King?
And my Koontz.
And your Koontz, okay.
It was a fun conversation.
I have enjoyed this conversation in English.
I have questions.
I have introduced myself. You have introduced yourself. This is a very good conversation.
I don't want to make another Skronky joke. I think the King is the action. I think it looks the best in this movie.
I think
at least the cinematography does.
Pure production. Aside from the special effects, I think this is the best one.
And my Koontz was going to be that Blade didn't get head from one of the tongue vampires, but now that I know he's asexual, I feel bad for that being my thing.
Yeah, we're not trying to shame you, Blade. You live your best life.
Yeah, you be happy.
My King was the production of this one. I liked it a lot better than the other ones. I think it just looks better in some ways.
I agree.
My Koontz is, I am the biggest fucking Donnie Yen fanboy. And I was so mad.
Which one was Donnie Yen?
I was going to let you start.
He was the Asian.
Yeah, I just wanted to make you say the Asian.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was going to let you start the Blade 2 bashing. For Donnie Yen.
This movie has a lot of flaws. But the biggest flaw that this movie has, as a personal insult to me, was that you have Donnie Yen in your movie. I get one dragon kick and that's it.
Sharut motherfucking M-Way. Every Star Wars fan is rolling in their grave and they're not even dead yet.
What Star Wars character was he?
Sharut motherfucking M-Way.
Did you watch Rogue One?
Yes.
He was the...
He's the Asian guy.
I just want to make you say it again.
Well, there's two. Baze is also...
Getting real tired of your shit.
Baze is also Asian.
That's the only thing I think I know him from off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Also, technically, Rook Bodhi is also Asian because he's Middle Eastern.
I am huge into modern kung fu cinema, and Donnie Yen is like, he is...
What else has he been in?
Did you ever watch the Ip Mans?
Yes.
He's Ip Man.
Oh. Alright, cool, yeah.
I'm going to refrain from saying what I just thought here. but he is actively excellent in the martial arts community, and he does a lot of modern martial arts stuff that I really enjoy. And the very fact that he's in this movie and they gave him nothing,
I've only seen
not even a speaking role, I was so mad. Like, that's my Koontz of this movie.
I hear he fights Mike Tyson in one of the other Ip Man movies. I kind of want to watch that one.
It's the third one.
Okay, so I have to. Is the second one worth watching?
They're all worth watching. Yeah. If you like kung fu cinema...
Yeah, I mean, I like the first one. I just haven't got around to it.
It's Yip Wai Shun who directs those, and like if you're talking like modern martial arts films, he's probably your top guy for like martial arts choreography.
Yeah. Like, breaking down martial arts fights is one of the things I want to do on my other YouTube channel.
It's like all three are actively good.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna... It's a kung fu movie. You go in expecting kung fu.
And I will add this to the list.
Beat up stormtroopers and he's blind.
He did do that too.
I love how excited you get.
I am one with the Force. And the Force is
I'm
with
not.
me. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me.
I'm not huge into Star Wars, but Rogue One is up there for me. I very much love. I like Rogue One a lot.
It's my second favorite of the new ones. Okay. Yeah. I was so excited to see him, and then was so disappointed when he did nothing.
Yeah, he just died.
Yeah. But granted, the same thing happened with all of those characters, but they weren't Donnie Yen.
No, they were not Donnie Yen. You don't put a martial arts guy in your movie, your action movie, and then just he dies doing nothing.
Okay, we're moving on to rankings. Daniel, I'm scrolling to the top. Oh, that's me. Daniel, I'm scrolling to the top half of your list because I'm being presumptuous.
This one ranks a lot lower than the first one.
Is it better or worse than the Hellraiser soft reboot, the new Hellraiser?
No, the new Hellraiser's way better because of just the practical effects alone.
Cocaine Bear is a lot lower on your list than I thought it would be.
I have Cocaine Bear much higher.
I wanted to make sure that the two Bear movies were together.
All right.
There's three Bear movies.
God, I think I'm going to put this below X. God.
So, are you saying that X was going to give it to you?
I think Renfield's a more enjoyable vampire movie.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. That's the rewatchability of Renfield.
I haven't rewatched it.
Shut the fuck up.
Ring Bond's too good until it isn't, so we got to go lower.
Yeah, I also like Ring Bond more than this movie.
God, are both Lolitas going to rank higher than this? I think so. A Return to Salem's Lot was way funnier. I'm going to put it right above Exorcist: The Beginning. That is a big jump.
From, 7 to 43?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Half.
Yeah. It goes above the first Blade.
In your top 10!
I like this one production. I like this one production-wise and fight scene-wise a little bit better than the first one, but that's about it.
I also think that it's fractionally better than the first one, but I don't like either. I had Blade at 86, and I have Blade 2 at number 80. Okay. And that's below Alien 3 and above Near Dark. Homework! Daniel, tell us about.
Oh no, I'm going last. Mine's the best.
I forgot to do it. Okay, so my blood pack OC, my blood pack original character is so he's a vampire and he's on the beach one day and he just likes to fuck around
and find out.
He just likes to fuck around, and he doesn't do shit. He doesn't take anything seriously. He just likes to night surf with his vampire friends, but then he finds a book on the beach in the sand and he reads it and he realizes that he wants to be a writer, and Jack Black is his brother, and he has to go to this college where the guy who wrote this book is, and he absolutely has to do that, and Chevy Chase is his principal. And
I almost thought you were describing the movie Orange County.
I am describing Orange County. That's the first thing that came to
mind. Who is your...
Hold on, I didn't get to Jack Black burning down the building.
He had to take off his pants to run faster.
I had to run faster through the flames. All right, that's fine.
It's the only thing from that movie I remember is that line specifically.
When that movie came out as a kid, some guy on one of the local radio stations, somebody gave it like a scathingly bad review. And as a kid, I was like, that's really mean. So we went and saw it, and I was like determined to like this movie, no matter what, because some guy on the radio was mean to Colin Hanks.
This is so good. Okay, so my blood pack OC is he's an aged cop, been on the force for a while. He tends to blunder around a lot, but he always gets the job done by the end of the day. Also, because I don't have a way of interweaving story plot like he does, it's basically Leslie Nielsen from The Naked Gun.
There's this channel that puts Frank Grimes onto other movies. And I've watched all of them. They are so funny. We'll watch one of them in between.
Yes, I want to see this.
It's hilarious.
I love the Naked Gun films.
They are so great.
They are. Put him in Blade, and we're done.
All right, so I channeled my junior high fan fiction writer for this one. My blood pack OC is known as Blades because I have two blades, and I'm half vampire, half werewolf, half human.
We're so Dwight right now. This is the Dwight Schrutiest you've ever been.
And I have all of the strengths and none of the weaknesses, and I'm Blade's best friend.
So, there. If I can explain how Dwight you're being right now, what is what's Kurt Russell's character from Big Trouble in Little China?
Kurt Russell.
No, character's
he
name.
just plays Kurt Russell.
Is it? It's not Captain Ron, is it?
No,
that's actually another movie he has where it's not really. I think he's like fucking
Jack Burton.
Okay,
so. So there's this part where Dwight's going to become the manager of the office, and he's getting interviewed, and they're like, well, who do you want for your number two? Well, ideally Jack Burton, but he's overqualified, unavailable, and fictional.
Side note, one of my coworkers says that we need to watch The Thing with Kurt Russell in it as one of our things for the podcast. Like, he says that's a movie we need to watch.
Okay.
It's like, okay. I told him, I was like, well, $30, we'll do it.
I'm getting rid of all of the tiers above $5.
Oh, okay.
I texted Ron today, and I told him you're demoted to the $5 tier. It's the first time he's texted me back in weeks.
I'm not taking your money anymore, Ron. I deserve to be free.
Okay. Apparently I copy and pasted my further readings, too.
I mean,
I feel like Bill Paxton's character from Near Dark is Ron Perlman's character in this movie. So,
watch The Strain. It's Del Toro's vampire show that's just this, but without Blade.
Just watch Del Toro stuff, because, I mean, I think the production of this movie is actually pretty decent, and like most of his other movies are strict upgrades.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth is high, like S tier, like level,
so good.
Like filmmaking.
Yes.
It's very good. It has subtitles, just a warning.
Okay. Upcoming on the Horror Babylon this Sunday, we are reviewing Let the Right One In, and then that's on Christmas Eve, and then on New Year's Eve. Ryan, nobody's going to listen to either of these. I know. Shut up, other Ryan. We are releasing a double feature movie episode on both film adaptations of Let the Right One In.
Who's the warrior in the red armor?
Speaking of people who were alive in 2004, thank you to our patrons Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and...
Okay.
No. The Full Metal Patron. Okay.
Wow.
And Ben the Fourth, Patron of Hope. And Mia the Fifth, the Rainmaker. And thank you to the sponsor of the Four Horsemen-a-thon, the Blade-a-Thon. Four Horsemen-a-thon was the 5 years I worked there. the Blade-a-Thon for Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, or the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you can shop online at shop.4horsemencomics.com. And if you shop there, please let them know that we sent you. And if you make it in the store, say hello to the proprietor, Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas, who wraps his Christmas presents every year to Blade 2. So we covered it for you, Ron, baby. We talked more about Hotel Transylvania than Blade 2.
I'm going to go wrap my Christmas presents with Ron this year.
Do it. He'll have you. All right. Thank you guys for rewatching Blade 2 and recording with me tonight.
Not a problem. I enjoyed it.
I got spit on.
Yeah, but you're a man whore, so you're used to it.
I usually am the one that spit on other people.
Well, now you get to walk a mile in their shoes.
Yeah, I don't know what they see in it.
He pulls one of those like Kentaro moves from Golden Boy.
I have literally... A girl asked me to spit in her mouth, and I did it, and I felt so bad.
I wouldn't. I would say no.
She got strep throat, by the way.
Of course she did, because she did something stupid.
I remember I was at work, right? And she's texting me, and like I'm talking to people and talking about what I'm talking to her about. And they're like, "Oh, who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Oh, the girl I'm saying." She's telling me her throat's hurting, and I'm just trying to like politely tell her, "Well, you're the one who told me to spit in your mouth," and my boss is just staring at me.
That was a good story.
Yeah.
Stay scary.
Stay scary, everybody.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/The Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.